Okay, the next step is to make the screen a little smaller. We want, as we get to 1,000 pixels, see, where's 1,000 pixels? Right there is 1,000 pixels right there. It just changed. Now, as we continue to get smaller, we want some other things to happen. So let's add in some more code down here. Same thing, media screen. Now I have a max width of 740 pixels. So when I get down to 740, anything below that, these changes are going to be made. These ones still are in effect because I'm below 1,000. But now these will be in effect because I'm below 740. The logo image up here. By default, it was, or at the very beginning, I think it was 300 pixels. We're going to make it 200 pixels. It's going to be a little bit smaller. Let's see, nav menu, I'm going to display to block. Let's see, what was that before? Menu, nav menu. Oh, it's on display none. Okay, so this is the one that's hidden and not visible, but we're going to make it display block, make it visible. And then down here at nav, we're going to display to none. So this is our nav bar, and the other one's called nav menu, which is just semantics. We're going to make this one invisible and the other one visible. Swap them out. And then slideshow. And slideshow images inside of slideshow. So we have a comma here. So we're looking at the slideshow itself, the whole big div with all of them in it. And then also we're looking at the class slideshow inside of the ID of slideshow. Okay, if that makes sense. We're going to set the height of them to 200. Okay, so let's go back up and just look at that for a minute. Slideshow, where is the slideshow? Oh, way up here. Right here. Slideshow, the whole div is 100% of the screen, all the way out to the edge. But then each div inside that has a class of slideshow image, they have a height of 380 pixels right there. Yes. And we're going to make that a little bit shorter. In other words, instead of 380 pixels tall, it's only going to be 200 pixels tall. So that just gives our picture a better proportion. Let's see here. Info, right here. At the time being, let's see, what was that? Info is 450 pixels. So this has a fixed width to it of 450 pixels. But as I get down below 740 for my screen width, I want that thing to then be 70% of the screen. So it will actually shrink with the screen. And I also want to put it in the middle. Right now it's position absolute. Over here, I think that's 20 pixels or something off the side. But we're going to put this in the middle of this screen, and we're going to make it 70% so it shrinks and lowers with the screen. And we'll give it a top of 200 pixels as well from the top of the screen. All right, let's see what happens when we do that. Okay, you don't see any changes because we're above 740 pixels. But as we get lower, right there, you saw that this thing changed to this new menu bar. And also, here's our information. You see how it is shrinking with the screen. Now there comes a point, actually that worked pretty good. So there's our, that's our screen. And so we can get almost as low as a phone. Pretty small there. And it would work on a phone screen. Oops. Alright, so play around with that a little bit. Now, the one thing we haven't done is when you click here, nothing happens. And that is going to be taken care of by JavaScript when we click there. We'll get that later. Alright, in next video we'll grab another, actually I'll just do it now. There's one more layer to this as I get even smaller. Go down here and I'll paste in the last one. And there's an element here that we're not even using, the phone element. I used to have a phone number up here whenever we had the last one, before I converted this web page. This one here is a max width of 430. So you can see as we get smaller, it gets even smaller. So first thing we want to do is make the logo even smaller. And then we want to make the slideshow pictures even shorter. And then we want to say the info visible to hidden. In other words, we just want to get rid of this box here. Because as we get that low, I was having issues with the words going off the page, like the truth would be below down here, the box itself, because the box has a fixed height. So we'll play around. We might do this, we might not, but we'll try it. And then animation name none. And that, in other words, I don't need to do that animation anymore as I scroll it out, because I'm not going to show it anyways. And then also copyright needs to be right 10 pixels. And so this copyright I think went off the screen. Not really, but we're gonna put it all the way to the right, 10 pixels off the right. I don't even know if I want to do that or not, but let's try it. Let's see what happens with that. So we go all the way out. This is our main, like a desktop version. As we get smaller, we got what I would consider a tablet version, and then you just get smaller, you get into the phone version right here, and then even smaller. I don't even think this thing gets down to 430 pixels. It doesn't. It never reaches that because this browser has a minimum width for each page anyways. So I don't know. You can play around with that. I don't even know if you need that last one. But some phones probably would have a smaller screen than 430 pixels, so I'd keep it in there. So that's that's all of the CSS for this page, every bit of it. The last thing we need to do is figure out the JavaScript for this button right here. And also, when the other menu bar, it's a square, it's a box that has all the menus on them. There's a little X up here at the top to exit out of it. That has to be done with JavaScript as well. So we'll hit that next time.